Welcome back to the channel. My name is Lisa Elvin Staltari, and I am a genealogist and a passionate traveler. Over the last several years, I have been focusing my attention first on les filles du roi, the king's daughters, and then on the marriageable girls, or les filles à marier. Each of these series has been extraordinary because we get to know the women on a in one-on-one basis to truly understand their journey, and their journey helps us understand the tapestry that is Quebec. Today we're going to be looking at a fille mariée and getting to know her story a little bit better. Before we begin, let me show you ways you can support the channel. Subscribe, like, and notify. We have, the algorithms with that like button really help. Truly helps. So each time you do a like, it's like you're giving me a little boost, and it's costing nothing. So if you want to reach out and do that, that'd be awesome. And if you want to help the channel financially, there are a couple of ways. One of them is the memberships that are now offered on YouTube, 99 cents a month, all the way up to $24.99 a month. There's no, contract to sign or anything like that. You can stop at any moment. And you'll see that each level offers its own little perks. And I'm so grateful to all of you who have done so far. And on my website, there's a PayPal button. You can contribute there as well. And as well, there's a super thanks button on YouTube now that you can do super thanks on each and every video that you like, or any, or none. Whatever. I really appreciate when I get a little notification that says someone did a super thanks. I'm like, very happy. It's, it's like a tip. So thank you so much to all of you who have done so far. And with that, I will say, let's get on with the show. Today, in Les Filles à Marier, we're going to be looking at episode 118, Marie Soulinier. She comes to us from a viewer request, and I'm very excited to be able to explore Marie's life a little bit more. So Marie was born in 1631 in Sainte, France. Her parents were Élie Soulinier and Marie Foulet. Now, Sainte is located in the Charente-Maritime department of the region of Nouvelle-Aquitaine that you can see on your map. It's a town truly rich in history and charm. It was a major Roman administrative center and is home to impressive Roman landmarks like the Arch of Germanicus and a well-preserved amphitheater that you can see on the bottom of your screen. In the medieval age, Sainte became a significant religious hub, boasting sites like Saint Eutrope Basilica and the Romanesque Abbey aux Dames. In its Gothic cathedral, St. Pierre adds to the architectural interest and splendor, really. Nestled along the Charente River, Sainte is surrounded by vineyards and picturesque countryside. It's a cultural hotspot. It hosts classic music festivals and offers local delights like cognac and Pinot de Charente. Isn't that amazing? There are about 25,000 people that live here. And sometimes you'll see Saint spelled with an X, just so you know. The Cathedral of Saint Pierre is now a national monument. It was the seat of the Bishop of Saint. The origins of this church date back to the 12th century, and the current building, rebuilt in the 14th and 15th century. But its renovations were never truly completed, as this church endured much damage during the French Wars of Religion and the attacks from Protestants. When she was about 21 years of age, she came to New France in about 1652, and we know that she was lodged in the home of Jean Aubuchon, and Jean Aubuchon was a very prominent pioneer of New France. The groom that she selected and who selected her, his name Jean Leduc, and he was born in 1625 in Ige, France. His parents were Jean Leduc and Cécile Le Chaperon. Now you can see that he is from the Normandy region of France, and inside of that, the very, very prominent Orne district. I've circled, this is the monument or the marker that lists all the people that came to New France that were baptized in that church, and there is Jean Le Duc. It's absolutely, the village of Ige dates back to medieval time times and features historic stone houses and manor estates and the Church of Saint Martin where he was baptized. And this particular region has a really good reputation for apple orchards, cider production, and livestock farming. And of course, as a key departure point for settlers to New France, Ig played a major role in shaping Quebec's founding population. Today, it does remain a small rural village valued for its historical charm and significance in French-Canadian genealogy. This is definitely the spot. This is where, in this region, is the essence or the birthplace of so much of New France and of Quebec. Jean would arrive in New France sometime in the late 1640s. He would first start off in Quebec City, but eventually made his way to Montreal. His chosen profession of long sawyer was a very, very important one. A long sawyer is one who takes the wood from a tree and creates those long planks that you need to build. So you can imagine that the building of Montreal was extraordinarily important, and so his profession and he himself became a very much wanted person. Let's see what would happen to Jean as he kind of made his claims in Montreal. By 1655, de Maisonneuve really wanted him, and this is just after the Grand Recru from 1653. So obviously at that point he's like, okay, I'm going to give you some land. And so yes, he was granted the land from de Maisonneuve himself. And I don't know if it was I'm sure it was out of loyalty to him. He joined and became a soldier in 1663 to protect Montreal and make certain that he could play a part in that defense. And Marie would be married in Montreal on November 11th, 1652. A little bit about Montreal. This wonderful city that I love so much started off as Ville-Marie by the founder Paul de Chaumery, Sœur de Maisonneuve, and was essentially a missionary center when it was founded in May of 1642. The colony would not thrive, and it was on the verge of extinction when Chaumery decided to return to France to recruit 100 settlers in 1653. They would come back, 100 settlers, including the Sister Marguerite Bourgeois, who would eventually found the congregation, the Notre Dame congregation, and the schools and all of that. These 100 settlers were extremely important. And they also played a part in protecting Montreal. As you can see, Montreal is an island, and obviously it could be attacked on all fronts. I've mentioned that Jean would become part of that militia. Well, that militia, started in 1663, was critical to the survival of Montreal until the Carignan-Salière soldiers. I love this map because it really truly shows Montreal as an island, and we cannot ever forget that it's an island. And at the very beginning of its life, the people of Trois-Rivières and Quebec City were just like, what is this place? It's out in the middle of nowhere. It's really the boondocks, as we would say today. They really didn't take it seriously. And much to their surprise, Montreal would eventually take over. And to this day, there's kind of like a rivalry between Quebec City and Montreal. So it's kind of interesting. It kind of started then. And the top left picture is Old Montreal, Vieux Montréal, which is an extraordinary, you're truly walking in history's path. And the Notre Dame Basilica that is there in the middle of your screen on the upper left, upper center, I should say, is what it looks like today. On the bottom center, you have a kind of an illustration of what it would have looked like in the 17th or 18th century, probably. On the upper right here, you have, it actually comes from one of the museums in Quebec and in Montreal, actually. And this is kind of an illustration of what the fort of Montreal would have looked like in the earliest of years. And of course, the wonderful, wonderful skyline of Montreal at night is there. Let's have a look at the census. In 1666, we find Jean and Marie, and then we find Jean, their son, we have Joseph, we have Marie, we have Suzanne, and all of a sudden we have a Jean Lambert. What is that? We'll have to figure that out. He's 11 years old. Is he a son? But his last name seems to be Lambert, so we don't know. And then there is a domestic engagé, so they have enough to hire someone. In the 1667 census, we have Jean and Marie, and then their son Jean. And finally, Lambert from the previous census is attributed as his son, and he is 12 years old. Then we have Marie, Joseph, Suzanne, Anne, who's 1 year old. And then we have a domestic, Adrienne, the same one, I believe. And then we have a pensionnaire, which is a boarder. And they have 8 beasts, or 8 cattle, let's say, and 33 arpents valeurs, about 20, I would say like 28 to 30 acres of land. Go on to have 9 children. Jean would marry Marguerite Desroches and have 10 children, 8 of whom made it to adulthood and 6 who left descendants. Lambert would marry Jeanne Descaries and would have 5 children, 4 of whom made it to adulthood and 3 who left descendants. Then we have Marie, who joined the convent. We have Joseph, who married Catherine Couillard, would have 10 children, 2 of whom would make it to adulthood. He then married Geneviève Joly and would have 9 children, 3 of whom would make it to adulthood. We have Suzanne, who married Paul Desroches and would have 4 children, 2 of whom would make it to adulthood. We have Anne Françoise, who also joined the convent. And then we have Charles, who married Agathe Desroches and had 2 children, both of whom survived. He then married Anne Angélique Chevalier and had 6 children, all of whom survived. Anne Angélique married Françoise. Her mother was Françoise Marie Berton, who we profiled in episode 110, and I provided the link. Philippe married Marie Carrière, and they would have 3 children, all of whom made it to adulthood. Jacques would marry Madeleine Michaud, but did not have any descendants before his early death at 27. Let's have a look at the 1681 census. We have Jean and we have Marie, their children. We have Lambert, Joseph, Suzanne, Charles, Philippe, and Jacques. You'll note that none of these children died at infancy. Very strong stock. And we have 1 gun, 12 bêtes, so that's 12 goats or horned animals, and 50 arpents valeurs, which is about 42 acres of land. Marie would pass away in 1701, in September actually, at the age of 70. She and Jean would have been married 48 years at that moment. And she would leave us with 137 descendants as of 1729. Jean would pass away about 7 months later, in April of 1702, and he would have been 77 years of age. For further research, I would definitely recommend Susan McNally's book, The Women of Ville-Marie, Pioneers of 17th Century Montreal. She really encapsulates not only Montreal, even if you don't have any ancestors in Montreal, please read this book. It will tell you the kind of life that they led. Really important read. It was so lovely to be able to show you Marie and Jean and their story, the real beginnings of Montreal. And Jean Leduc, certainly one of the earliest landowners, one of the major pioneers, and to have Marie there as his helpmate, and they lived a life and carried on. And I just love when, again, I always say the same thing. Although I love the dramatic stories and all of that, I do love a love story. And I love when they get together, they meet, they marry, they have a family, they create a life. And that is what Marie and Jean did together. So kudos to them. And thank you to Marie for coming to the New World, new friends, and being able to truly lay down roots and help create the city that would become Montreal. So we are so grateful that you embarked on this journey and absolutely wanted to be a part of it. So kudos to you, and we bless your memory, and we are ever so grateful that you gave of yourself and sacrificed for us. Thank you so much, Marie. Now, to my patrons, supporters, and subscribers, I want to say a great big old thank you to you as well. You are truly amazing, and I appreciate each and every one of you for the support that you give me each and every month, and each and every day that I produce a video. I get lots and lots of feedback, so I truly appreciate each and every one of you, and I really do read all the comments, and I'm so ever so grateful that this journey has expanded as it has. So thank you ever so much. And until I see you on the next Fille Mariée, I will say au revoir.